Hello, everybody, and welcome to a short version of a spring lunch and learn series. I am Helen Panos. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the owner of Dynamis Learning as a K through 12 tutoring, SAT, ACT prep company, and executive functioning. And this series is actually about executive functioning. And today I have one of my executive function coaches with me. She's fairly new to our team. Welcome, Katina, to our Lunch and Learn series.
Yeah, it's nice to be with you today.
Thank you. All the way from Greece, too.
Awesome. Really Greece today, but
I see it's cold. You said it was cold.
Yes, it is cold today.
So we're going to talk about tell them a little bit about your background, because I know you have an interesting background and we're talking about the topic circus therapy today.
Yes. So I have a master's in autism and behavioral disorders and have worked in the world of disabilities for over 20 years. And through after my master's program, I actually, one of the things I did during my own program, I'm ADHD myself, is I actually was using hula hooping as a way of regulating during exams and studying and so forth. And it was something that I thought was really great for me. And when I moved back to Atlanta, I discovered circus arts therapy. And that was the beginning of over a decade being a circus therapy provider in Atlanta. And it has been a really fun journey to see how something that people might think as so abstract can have such concrete results.
Yeah, that's terrific. I thought that was interesting that you had that background. So I've never met anybody like that.
Right, exactly. Like I've swam with I did therapy with dolphins. I did this. It's
oh my gosh, unbelievable. That's pretty cool. So tell us a little bit about what is circus arts therapy and how does it help with regulation?
Yes. So circus art therapy is a form of play-based therapy that was actually created by Carrie Heller of the Circus Arts Institute, which was in Atlanta for many, many years. And she is a play therapist and was seeing a lot of overlap between what could be done through play therapy. And she also was a circus performer. So she had this wonderful idea and brainchild of bringing those two things together, and actually has even done a research-based program that has been published at this point now. It's absolutely fantastic to actually see the tangible results of circus therapy. And what it does is it is using the apparatus, both ground apparatus and air apparatus, to help regulate, to teach, and so much more within a therapeutic setting. So what's really amazing is the amount of regulation that can actually come from circus arts and different types of apparatus.
That's cool. That's awesome. So why do activities like balancing, for instance, or juggling help kids focus? I used to do some juggling way back in the day. Gosh, I think some of these things have gone out the door for some reason. We need to bring them all back.
It's so true. So one of the things that I think is really amazing is that we now know that the brain is plastic, and we used to view the brain as a concrete brain. But in the past, just few decades, new research has come out to show that the brain is in fact a plastic brain. It can grow and it can change, it can remap. There's an infinite amount of possibilities with the brain. Now, I say this because movement, like cross-lateral movement, so moving opposite sides of the body at the same time, running, juggling, things that cause you to have to use that hand-eye coordination with the like juggling does, actually grows your brain. Juggling has been shown to grow the gray matter in your brain, which is like all of our little brain cushion that helps give our brain a lot of what it needs to keep going. Also helps push off memory loss and strengthen things like executive functioning. And cross-lateral movements have also been shown to light up the connections between our brains. So all of the little neurons in the corpus callosum are just really starting to light up and talk to each other, even to the point of regrowing or growing brand new neural connections. So inherently, Circus Arts is using a lot of those same movements, the cross-lateral movement, juggling, like even in these research studies, all of these scientists that were doing this research at the very end all took up juggling, all took up running, all took up some form of a cross-lateral exercise.
That's cool. Yeah, we do that with my trainer. We do like, balancing and all this stuff because she's a kinesiologist. So it's like what you do forward, you do backwards. So people don't think about that. Like we used to do that kind of stuff because we'd entertain ourselves, at least my generation. I don't know, maybe yours too. But even puzzles, I've been telling parents because kids have a cognitive spatial issue going on. And I have them buying puzzles and having the kids do like those 48 puzzle pieces that are kind of big because I feel like puzzles have gone away too. Charades. How about charades?
So many of those things with the fine motor movements, with gross motor movements, we're not seeing kids moving around in the same ways anymore. And this even goes back to the balance that we were speaking of. Something that is very interesting is for a lot of people, we are imbalanced these days. Especially you see a lot of imbalance in neurodivergent children. Low proprioceptive awareness is something that is very common with people with neurodivergence. And so that need for grounding and balance is really high. And what I have found to be really cool is through things like balance boards, standing on equipment, or even just like standing on one foot or the other, but working on balance actually will help improve your memory, the intake of information, and your ability to focus. We had one student. Sorry. Yeah, we had one of our clients when I was working at the Circus Arts Institute. He had come in, could hardly follow a one-step direction and was really struggling to listen. Everything caught his attention, had a really difficult time. And you would even think in this room that was like full of equipment and different things, that distractibility can be very high. But we would get him on a balance board or on a trapeze. And this kid was able to follow 3-step directions, 5-step directions, like just adding that level of balance was enough to ground the brain down throughout the body and intake that information that it was struggling to intake previously.
And explains why people, that are neurodivergent have a hard time with math. I get a lot of phone calls about math because as it gets harder, there's multi-step problems, right? You gotta be able to handle all these steps. And when you were saying that, that's where my mind went about math. So what's one simple activity that families could try at home like today? Other than balancing, maybe.
One of the fun things that you can even try at home is juggling. So one of the things that people always think is that you need a lot of fancy equipment, but there are things like grocery bags that you could actually use for basic juggling scarves. So with that, you can start by basic just throwing up and catching, throw up, catch down. So when you're doing a scarf, it's a catch down motion. And so once you get the hang of one, you can try throwing in 2, catch, and then even down to 3, or up to 3, I should say.
Oh my God.
But yeah, You can do. Oof, let me get this in hand. There we go. But
Now
yeah,
you're
so
making me. You're
something.
making me. Now that we bought the dog another ball, I think I'm going to go juggle the balls. But I normally get the dog.
So juggling is one that's really an easy thing to do at home. If you have things like hula hoops, hula hooping is really great at centering your body. But then down to balancing, you can do a lot of different type of balance activities. If it's from just balancing on one foot to even sitting on things like a little roller ball and just getting that balance in.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I actually, like, if I'm in the middle of a meeting, people don't realize it, but I'm actually sitting on this. So it helps my own focus. And then you can even get simple balance boards at either like exercise stores, or my absolute favorite is actually called an Indo board, and it's a surfboard trainer. So it's pretty cool in general, but it has been one of my most favorite pieces of therapeutic equipment, even though it's actually marketed towards surfers.
That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I have one of those rolling things for muscles. So people could use, they may have those at home actually, where you roll out, foam roller, they call them, but they're pretty hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different lengths. That's awesome.
At like exercise stores, they're called like a little pancake ball, which it's like an exercise ball but flat. And those are great just to sit on or to put in a chair. That helps give you that sense of balance. And I always find it interesting because so many people think, oh, if I give that to my kid, they're just going to be bouncing around and moving around. That might happen for the first 5 minutes, but then before you know it, they're just like, and I feel balanced.
That's funny. So, folks, if you'd like to have a conversation and get some executive function coaching, we do that. Contact me at info@dynamislearningacademy.com, or the phone number you see on the screen there, 770-282-9931. And we're talking about doing a summer camp for executive function, which Katina will do virtually. So if you're interested in that, let me know that when you email me or text me. And also we'll be doing an in-person one in the Atlanta area. So stay tuned for information on that. That'll be, it's a good thing. Executive function coaching is not just about having these skills while you're in school. They're really life skills. So I've been getting calls from junior parents that are like, hey, he's going to be going to college soon, and he really needs to be able to do these things on his own. And I'm not seeing the changeover happening yet. So we work with kids, even simply doing something like that, because they are going to be going to college and you're not going to be around, mom and dad. So they got to have these skills that they need. I'm sure we could do a whole other lunch and learn on that. But we will be back next week, and we're going to be talking about movement, improving focus, next Friday at noon, and how physical activity strengthens executive functioning. So you'll see my flyer out there, and I'll be promoting that soon again. And daily habits on the 2nd or the 3rd of April. Daily habits that strengthen executive functioning. So join us live, or you'll see this in the feed as it runs through. You know how Facebook does that. So definitely join us for any of those things, and happy to speak to you guys on a free consultation about anything you're worried about that you think might be executive functioning skills. All righty. Well, thank you again, Katina, for joining me. It's always nice seeing your smile. And so we will, I see somebody's hitting like up there. It might be your mom watching us. But I hope everybody has a great weekend. It's actually going to get warm here in Atlanta, Georgia. So looking forward to that. So we will see you guys next Friday at noon. Stay tuned for that. And we'll be back. Bye for now.
Bye.